Hello, beautiful souls. I'm so grateful that you're tuning in. Welcome to my podcast, Misunderstood, guiding highly sensitive people through an emotional dark age. I'm your host, Candice Vandal, and I'm honored to embark on this transformative journey with you. Have you ever felt like you didn't quite fit into the world around you or even your own family? Like your sensitivity was a burden rather than a gift? If so, you're not alone. And here's the truth. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It's a superpower. It's what allows you to feel deeply, to connect with others on a profound level, and to access a higher realm of consciousness. And on this podcast, we're going to explore how to harness that power and use it to create a life of purpose, passion, and true confidence. Here, in this sacred space, we honor your sensitivity as the gift it truly is. Get ready to embark on the journey of unapologetic emotional honesty and next-level healing. Let's dive in together. Hey guys, welcome to Misunderstood, guiding highly sensitive people through an emotional dark age. I am your host, Candice Vandal. Let's dive in. I want to do this podcast because so often in my courses and in my coaching sessions, people often ask me, how do I hold on to this frequency I wish to live in? And there's so many pieces of this that I want to dissect for you guys today to make it an easier experience and also a structured approach to really learning how to get into alignment with the frequency you wish to create and attract to yourself and really live in, but also how to maintain it. So holding that frequency, I have 3 key points I want to discuss today, and there's so many others, right, that I want to dive into, but probably not enough time today. So I'll do a couple podcast episodes on this topic. But recently I found this week's energy is very abundant, is very aligning, is very much like this experience of all the work we've done, we're now falling into in a more aligned way. And so I'm going to give you some of these tips of what I've done over the course of my journey to really try to start to anchor a consistent flow of divine, calm, relaxed, and synchronized energy. So the first thing I always touch on is the laws, right? The universal laws. It is law that you will not attract what you are. You're attracting what you think you are. So the first step is belief. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about the events and the evidence and the circumstances of your life that are already and still and constantly getting in the way of you getting kicked off of the truth of you? And this is what I mean. A lot of people are coming into an awakening right now. I had my awakening 30 years ago. So I've been dabbling in this field for a really long time. When I had my awakening, I was 16 years old and nobody was going through that. And I felt very alone and weird and just like, how do I anchor this awareness I had, which I'll explain, into this reality I'm in? Because it was so different. And over the course of 30 years, what I've learned to do is anchor in a higher perspective into a regular world reality, right? Material world, spiritual reality in a material world, 5D into the 3D. And this is what I love doing. And so my awakening came when I was at, and you guys might have already heard this story. I was at a youth group convention, 2,000 kids. And I had an out-of-body experience, and I lifted up, and everyone in the room had my face. And when they had my face, I started it like, it was so exciting and it felt so good, but I started getting like worried. And I started asking my friends, do you see me when you look at me, or do you see you? And they're like, Candice, what's going on? And after asking a few people, I dropped back into my body. But what happened when I was out of my body for who knows how long, it felt like hours, probably seconds, minutes, is I saw everyone as me, and I had this download that there's no separation, this download that there's nothing different or wrong about you or less than or better than or more worthy or less worthy. We're all the same. And that was what I needed to break out of my wounding at that age, where I thought I was different. I was the only kid in school with attention deficit at the time, the only kid in school who took Ritalin. So I thought there's something different about me. But what I realized is the difference was actually really good. And if God is telling me I'm the same as everyone and society is telling me I'm not, something might be wrong with society. And whoa, is that a deep dive, guys? And that's what I teach in my emotional rehab program, right? It's the ideal self versus the real self, the true identity versus the societal ideals. Really letting go of the conditioning and rising up to something higher. We have to rise up to that higher perspective to even come into the right kind of frequency. Because the truth of who we are is not found in society, it's created from God. So the first thing is your beliefs. What are your beliefs? When we have a belief that there might be something wrong with us, we will only ever attach to the evidence that that might be so. We're so afraid that that might be true that any evidence we prepare ourselves for. We start to sabotage before we really get what we want. We start to really prepare ourselves for the fear rather than the truth. So, really looking at your identity, and any lower vibrational thoughts and beliefs are going to attract the evidence. The universe is a hologram. So, anything you believe, you will receive. So, it's an inside job. And this is what I mean. When I first had my awakening and I went back to school and I saw evidences of maybe I wasn't right about this new awareness, it was really confusing because I was looking for evidence that I could anchor in the new identity. Instead, what I found was evidence of the parts of me that were still in doubt of it. So, really understanding that your belief about self is key. And if you want that deeper dive, check out my emotional rehab program. It's on demand right now. You can do it at your own pace. It is a structured healing approach to this process. The second thing is aligning your action steps. When you start to understand that I have to believe before I receive, and I have to do the biggest challenge, which is believing that this is who I am, regardless of evidence, regardless of opinions. It's the hardest thing to do. One way to do it is to really anchor in what you wish you were and anchor in all the beliefs that you had that you don't really resonate anymore, chucking those away and seeing what sticks for you. What do I feel really authentic about? What inspires me? What triggers me? Checking all of this out. So the second thing is aligned action, aligning your action steps with what you wish to create rather than what you're afraid is true. So somebody who is in a higher frequency has actually taken the steps to align their life with things that are at a higher frequency. Feeding yourself clean food, not drinking a lot of toxic products like alcohol or carbonation, things like this. Being in nature, I live in the woods, literally. So I am surrounded by it. Noticing the people in your vortex. Are these people in alignment with your higher thoughts or your old way of being? Is it more of a material thing, or is it more of a spiritual thing? Really noticing that. What are you aligning your actions with? Are you aligning the steps in your life with someone who really is aware of themselves and believes in themselves, or someone who's kind of afraid? So you keep this upper limits issue and you stay away from the really risky things. Do the risky things, because every time you face something that you really want but you're afraid of, you will see that really what you really want is closer than you understand right now. So it's really about having the courage and bravery to check things out. So number one, belief. Number two, action step. Number three, the biggest piece, identity. What the heck is your identity? It needs an upgrade. When your identity is, I might have some shame, check it out. Shadow work. I just did a reel about this on Instagram this week and it went pretty viral. And what it was about was how when we face the things that we think are shameful or we think might be wrong with us, and we're like, okay, this might be wrong with me. My biggest thing, as you guys probably know by now, if you followed me for a while, my biggest thing as a child was there's something wrong with me. I have ADD. No one else has it. There's something wrong with my brain. What I decided is it's actually attention dialed to a higher dimension. When I had my out of body experience at 16 years old, I was very clear there was nothing wrong with me. But I was also really wanting to prove that to society. So I was like, I'm just going to follow my dreams and see what happens. And guess what? It worked. I had that courage. I had that bravery to challenge the societal norm, to challenge what people were telling me versus what I knew to be true from a different perspective. Thank God this experience happened to me, or I would have probably never built a YouTube channel and a podcast and a whole business around something higher if I didn't lift out myself and challenge the narrative. So your identity, when I thought, oh, there might be something wrong with me, I decided, let me check it out. Let me do my shadow work. Let me look at the parts of me I'm afraid could be true. Let me look at the things about me that might not be enough or might be wrong. What I found every time I did that was, sure, I had some behaviors I could change and upgrade because of the wounding, but that wasn't my identity. That was just my reactions. That was just the way I was dealing with things. My identity was the person behind those reactions that was really sure of who she was. And so I checked out all the negative. And when I checked out the dark spots, guess what happened? I also checked out more light. I got to embrace my golden shadow, which is your fearlessness to shine. Your fearlessness to go to the next level, next level, next level, to check out what your potential really is. I always say, how we do one thing, we do all things. So if I'm having resistance to my shadow, I'm having resistance to my shine. If I'm having resistance to the fear, I'm having resistance to the love. All of it works together. We have to stay open. So here's your 3 ways to find and anchor your frequency. Check out your beliefs, upgrade them. Do the law of the universe, which is I don't attract what I am, I attract what I think I am. Maybe got to look at what I'm thinking about or believing about me. Number 2, aligned action steps. You have to have the courage and bravery to follow what you desire, regardless of the fear. And number 3, identity. Really understanding shame is in the way of your shine. Having the willingness to look into it. And what you'll find, because I guide thousands of people through this, right, in the last 12 years, what you'll find is the thing you're most afraid of is your doorway to the thing you ultimately want. Society is here to disempower you, to make you think there's something bad about you. So buy the product or join the group or do the thing or change yourself in some way. No, no, no. The truth is your wise guide inside has all the answers. When you start to open up to the reality, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fully capable. You're born perfect for your purpose. And you are perfection in the process, my friend. So I hope this touches you. Please come say hi to me over on Instagram at Candace Mandel. Please share this with someone. Please leave a comment below if you liked this in some way. And also, please check out my website because I have so many offerings right now that people don't always know about. So I have to mention that. So many offerings to help you with this journey. If this one touched you deeply, Emotional Rehab is the program to do. I love you guys. Have an amazing week. I'll see you soon.